back with another book review. This is Born Reckless by Keary. It is the first book in the Blood Rose Knights series. It is another spin-off of the Descendants universe. I know I'm making my way through that series. Here is the summary. So, I did enjoy Juliet's character. Interesting backstory, although it feels a lot like Logan's. So it's weird to, I guess, feel like you got two down and out girls in a row, but that's okay. Still good, I enjoyed it. I was thinking and hoping it would take off after the Crown of Death series. If you haven't checked out those books or seen my reviews on them, I'd go check them out or read them because there will be spoilers in these reviews for this series going forward for the Descendants universe. So we have Juliet. She was passed around from foster home to foster home growing up. She didn't have a good life and she's finally out on her own. She's trying to become a doctor and she is in the last stages of her internship. Her best friend Elena, they end up going out one night and they come across a dude that threatens Elena, and Juliet is like, no one's gonna mess with my bestie, and then dies. Now, if you have seen my previous reviews on the Descendants universe, such as Garden of Thorns and Crown of Death, you know all about these vampires. For those of you who don't, welcome. You have to die to become a vampire in this one. So basically what it is there are born vampires, royal vampires, and bitten vampires. The royal vampires come directly from King Cyrus, and the born don't. The born are born from a vampire daddy and a human mommy. And then there are the bitten, which are the normal ones that we're used to, like a muffy where they get bitten, they can turn into a vampire. Juliet turns out to be one of these. And the night they went out, Elena wanted to introduce Juliet to her brother because she thought they'd be perfect together, because he is under a lot of pressure to produce an heir because he is royal, but he is a human currently because he hasn't wanted to change. Elena, on the other hand, got impatient and changed herself. They head off to Chicago, where there is mass influx of vampires and people with special abilities. Juliet and Mason, Elena's twin brother, they have the hots for each other, like insanely. And it is from the first moment. It's not insta-love, it is insta-lust. There's a little bit of romance with that. Other than that, we're dealing with Juliet's backstory. We're learning all about her. We're learning about the vampires. We're learning about the houses. I have to describe the houses again. The royal born have specific houses all over the world. There are 3 in America. Those are the ones we care about because we're in America. Chicago is kind of on the outskirts, so it's not as regulated as the other areas. We meet the Knight Council, which has Elena and her brother and a few other characters, and we meet Roman, who is definitely super attractive, but he's like so abrasive, and she's like, oh, I don't like him. And I'm like, I feel like I have a theory they're gonna end up together in the end. It's a dumb theory. That's all I could think about because they're both reckless. So that's all I could think about. Her and Mason, they are a thing for just a little bit, but Elena is like, no, you can't be with him because you can't produce an heir because she died, and you can't have babies as a vampire woman. So they can't be together because of that. There's also a new development with the vampires and these gifted individuals. I don't like to say witches because I hate witches, and they don't call themselves witches, so they're not witches to me. They're just people with abilities. They're superheroes, they're superpowers, whatever. New developments, and we learn about Juliet's actual history and who her parents actually are, and we learn about a serial killer. I'm excited for what's coming for this series. The only gripe I have is I feel like she was too open with Mason. I understand that sometimes people with a lot of trauma can either info dump or they can just wall off. I kind of wanted her to wall off and then slowly crack and divulge the information slowly, but I understand why it happened the way it did. I just feel like I would have liked that better, just because I'm someone who will accidentally info dump to then close off. So, and with how she kind of grew up, I was like, I wish that she would have just waited like 2 seconds. I love feeling how she is so desperate to get this blood and all this, and how Mason always smells like a snack because he is human, and I really like that dynamic. I don't really like the repetitiveness of, she's like, I'm reckless. It's my middle name. I'm reckless. There's a few things I just wish weren't repeated as much much as they are. And it was the same like that for me for Garden of Thorns. Crown of Death didn't have that very much, and if it did, it worked and it wasn't as much. Garden of Thorns also had like, oh, you're great, you're perfect, you're wonderful, blah 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 blah, just reiterating that she's great even though she hasn't really done anything great. This one, Juliet, she does do some really cool stuff. She is great, she is going to be a doctor, all that. So I just wish that she wasn't like, I'm reckless, like so many times and whatever. But other than that, it's shaping up to be a really interesting story and the cliffhanger's really good. I am excited to see what new things happen in this universe. And if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to go check it out, the link in the description or in the description. Yeah, go check it out. The series is finished published, so that's helpful. Yeah, that's about all I got to say. Go check it out. I really enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!